Great.
Alvaro, are you here?
Yes, I am. How are you?
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. How about you? You have 20 minutes time, all in all, just to feel free to talk about whatever what inspires you. We can have a second meditation if you're into it. Whatever the 20 minutes are free for you. The 15 minutes, and then a couple of question and answers. The stage is yours. Welcome to newway.org.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. I feel kind of awkward because after Shelley's meditation here I come to accelerate people's brains. So it's kind of strange to do this afterwards, but let's do it. It's a good balance. Yes. Well, my name is Alvaro. I live in Brazil. I run an impact investing company where we hold some investments here in renewable energy, in the healthcare segment, and our latest investment is a school, a completely innovative school of business called Link here in Brazil. And actually, what I wanted to talk to all of you today is that the world is giving us a true window of opportunity as we have never seen before in history, for people to actually be able to live their own dreams, to pull their dreams inside of them through entrepreneurship. I guess the window of opportunity we have today for people to become entrepreneurs and live the life they want, we've never seen before. We don't need an initial capital to do this. We don't need to use all our time to do this. And maybe at the end of this presentation, these 20 minutes, people will be able to have their own company regardless their age. I'm 42 years old. I see a lot of differences between my generation, if I can call so, and the new generation that is coming. And I guess evolution did a good thing to the world, as I see those young people much better than we were when we were your age. I can say this, Giordano. And I see many differences. For example, global environment caring. Nowadays, if you see someone throwing a piece of paper on the streets, you probably someone will probably call your attention. And this was not like this 30 years ago or 40 years ago. I see an enormous difference in the sense of property. When I was 18 years old, when you're able to drive here in Brazil, my dream was to have a car. Nowadays, I believe if you offer a child when they are 16 or 18, or a young person, if they want a car or if they want infinite Uber services, they will probably pick Uber. If they want a house by the beach or infinite Airbnb services, they will probably pick Airbnb. The sense of properties have changed. People don't want to have things, not as much as we wanted when we were young, but people want to live experiences. This is another change. Another change I see is about philanthropy. We have never seen so many examples from people that understand that they would not be able to become happy alone, that there are other people surrounding them. And if they are able to achieve something, it would be good for them to divide this something with other people. We're having, as time goes by, we're having more and more examples on philanthropy, which is really, really good. Well, technology, I don't think I need to spend a single word about that, about the differences we see nowadays compared to 20 or 30 years ago. But there is one main difference that I see, which is where people's attention is. 20 years ago, our attention, when we weren't at school, when we were not at our work, we were either doing something we liked or watching TV or reading some newspapers, some magazines, some books. And this have changed dramatically, especially in the last 3 to 5 years. Nowadays, people's attentions is completely focused on their cell phones or computers. I kindly ask you to do a simple test. After we turn this off, go to your battery checker on your iPhone. Go there on your settings, on the battery, and check how many hours was your screen turned on within the last 24 hours. You will be surprised with yourself. It's probably be something between 3 to 5 hours. And if you are between 13 and 17, which I believe is this audience, you probably had your screen turned on from something from 6 hours to 10 hours, if not more than that. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm trying to say is that you are starting to consume everything that is being given to you, that has been given to you through your screen, through social media, through YouTube, through Google, through Netflix, or whatever app you're using. There are 3 ways to establish a company. Normally 3 ways. The first, which is the most common one, 90% of the companies were established like this. You develop a product or you develop a service, and once you have this product or this service, you go after a client that will be able to pay you something for that product or that service. This is how most companies are created. This is one way. So you develop a product or a service. Another way to establish a company is by finding a market need. I do a market research, a market analysis, and I find a niche that needs something, that has a blank to be filled. This is how the consulting companies usually look for opportunities. So I see a market, and then I identify a need, and then I go after a product or a service to fulfill that need for that specific market. This is the second way to establish a company. However, there is a third way that was not very common years ago, but nowadays it's becoming more and more common. It's called the audience model, the content model. I believe the first one who gave us the opportunity to see this kind of business model was a man called Walt Disney. Back in 1928, this guy had a hobby. He loved to draw mice. And there was this specific mouse he loved to draw, which for him it was very nice, but for others wasn't. And he tried to establish a company talking about stories of a single mouse. So he went after investors, telling how his mouse was nice. No one couldn't care less about his mouse. Everyone tried to switch his idea to something else. Everyone would say, well, but people run away from mice. You should draw dogs, you should draw cats, you should draw animals that people get along better. And this Walt Disney said, no, my hobby, what I really love to do is to draw mice, to draw this specific mouse called Mickey, and I'll stick with this. And he really stuck to this idea. And he started to share his cartoons, his drawings, and people surrounding him in his city started to like these cartoons, these stories. Then he got an interview in the local newspaper. Then afterwards, he got a mention in the national radio and then on the TV, and his mouse became more well-known as time went by. However, what he realized was that he didn't have a business in the beginning, but he had an audience. And this audience from time to time would ask him to fulfill a wish, to fulfill a curiosity, to fulfill a specific need. For example, when at one moment in time, someone said, you know what? I would like to have this mouse as a furry pet, as a small toy here at my house. And he said, no problem. I'll fulfill your dream for $9.99. And then another parent said, you know what? I want to have these Disney cartoons playing on my TV, but I don't want to watch it at the same time national broadcast wants to give to us. I want to have it at my own time. He said, not a problem. You can sign up to Disney Channel or Disney Plus, $19.99. And then there was another inquiry. People said, you know what? I love this mouse so much that I would be able to spend a whole day in the same place this mouse is located. Maybe you could put some roller coasters in it. And he said, no problem. Let's build an amusement park. Walt Disney World was built. And there were people who said, you know what? I love this mouse so much that I would be able to spend a couple of days, 5 days, 10 days. And he said, not a problem. You need a place to sleep. So we have the Walt Disney Resorts, $500 a night, very nice hotels. And there were people who said, you know what, I love this mouse so much that I would be able to go to Orlando or California or Tokyo and have a vacation house right in front of the Cinderella Castle so I can see the fireworks. And he said, not a problem. I'll fulfill your dream. It'll be a house, 5 bedrooms, facing fireworks. $1 million. You can buy it right now. Just Google it and you'll find a nice house. What did he realize? By starting with what he had to say, what he really loved about, he was able to create a complete business model focused on his audience to attend a need, a curiosity, or a desire, a wish. Why am I telling you this story? Because in the same sense, you're able to consume other people's stories on the internet. In the same sense, you're able to open your Instagram account or Facebook account or TikTok account or Google it to find a YouTube channel that fits your wishes. We're living in a moment. We're living a moment where we can produce these same content. We can generate content. We can speak about whatever we want to speak. I see the internet nowadays as New York's Fifth Avenue 200 years ago. Real estate was really cheap there. Real estate on the internet is really cheap nowadays. We will have references about the most different subjects very soon. A very well-known Instagram account or Facebook account will have a tremendous value going forward to distribute products. And we have never seen an opportunity in business as we are seeing today. So what I wanted you to think about is to fulfill these spaces on the internet with something good, with something you like, with something you wish the world to hear. So pick up something you like, pick up something you're good at, or pick up a problem in the world you wish to solve and start sharing these ideas on the internet. You will be amazed on the ears you will be able to get to hear, to listen to what you have to say. And maybe someday you'll be able to fulfill a wish. I believe a company that is not on the internet won't be a company at all. in 10 to 15 years. People address this quote to Bill Gates. I don't even know if he really said that or not, but I do agree with whoever said that. And politicians will be elected by the internet. We have seen this in the last elections. We'll see this. The non-governmental associations will have a place to speak up using the internet. And this power is available to everyone, I believe every one of us have dreams inside. When we are young, when we are 13, 17 years old, or even more than that, we have dreams about what we want to be when we grow up. And usually what we envision is something that will create a stamp on the face of the earth. We usually choose professions, and I usually ask these kind of questions to young people, and they usually say they want to be a fireman, an astronaut, or a policeman. They want to be someone who goes through their passage on the face of the earth and leave something good. However, as we get old, those dreams are kind of blocked, are crushed, are suffocated by society in general, sometimes within our own homes, sometimes by our teachers, sometimes by society as a whole. And people used to accept this. Nowadays, we have enough information for people not to accept this. And we have, through a cell phone and a Wi-Fi connection, a whole world to be tapped, to be touched. So don't miss this window of opportunity. It may not come once again in your lifetime, but it does exist right now. So the message I have to leave with you today is speak up, get something you wish to talk about. You will find your place. I believe it's been 20 minutes or 15 to 20. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope it was useful, really, from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you very much, Alvaro. Do we have any questions from the teenager present here to Alvaro through his inspiring presentation about not only about Walt Disney, but also about the company you will found tonight, as he said at the beginning of his talk?
Alvaro.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Can you talk about Além da Facu, beyond Além da Facu, university. Beyond university?
Yes, sure, Giordano. This two years ago, when I actually a year and a half ago, when I felt that I was really behind what was going on the internet. I come from the financial market. I had 22 years of experience in the financial market, running an asset management company. And when I saw what everything was being done on the internet, I felt really, really old, Giordano, because I saw that we were not watching TVs anymore. We were not reading newspapers, physical newspapers anymore. We were not reading physical magazines anymore. Even when I was as a passenger inside a bus or a car or a train, we were not seeing the billboards anymore. We were just looking at our phones. So I said, well, you know, I cannot feel this old being 40 years old. I need to do something. And then we created an Instagram account to do exactly what I told you guys, just as a test. And it ended up, Giordano, that we have built a 250,000 account on Instagram and turned this into a business unit, which for me, it's something unbelievable. We had revenues above $250,000 last month, which compared to the asset management company I have, it's unbelievable to think an Instagram account can do this. So if we were able to do it with 40 something years old, I believe younger people were able to do it in a much easier way. And this is what we call Beyond University, or Além da Facu, or a simple Instagram account that teaches everything that you don't learn in a business school.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Giordano was speechless, so that means something. Are you already creating your Instagram account, or what activity are you following now? I think it was very inspiring, and really the way you try to show how really with your passion and your, of course, your capacities, and the way to find the white spots where things are needed, where the wishes are, the desires are, and the crowd, which really helps you to achieve their wishes and their desires. That's something that's really very nice. And I think it's not only for the company, for creating a company, for creating revenue, but I think that might also be something for creating also something which is non-profit oriented. And that's something which we try also a bit to achieve here by trying to look at the needs, the wishes maybe, or the fears, or whatever, the anxieties of the teenagers, and trying to give them a platform in order to overcome all these little barriers, in order to become maybe a person like you, or maybe someone, or maybe as well someone who tries to make the world a bit a better place. Thank you very much for your presentation. And I'm sure that maybe you will have some ideas from teenagers, or some questions from teenagers which are really already trying to set up their own company. And maybe you can give them some good advice, as you went through all that, and now you got there. Thank you very much for being with us. And I think now it's time to switch over to not a meditation, but to a game.